How y'all doing tonight? Tonight we're gonna do a little kind of a roast beef deal. I've done some before. I'm gonna try a new little recipe. Got me thinking last time when I did that basil chicken tomato dish or pasta, and I got to thinking about a new little roast recipe. So I'm gonna kind of show y'all what we got going on. I got 2 chuck roast pieces here. What we're gonna do is just gonna lightly season them. A little bit of sea salt here, a little bit of that on there. Then we'll go with a little bit of cracked black pepper on each side. Okay, so now I'm going to brown the chuck roast. By the way, this is chuck roast. Salt and pepper, put it in some hot oil here. Go ahead and brown each one of these. And I have to kind of smash it in there. Brown for a couple minutes on each side. Okay, now to brown it on both sides for about 3 or 4 minutes. Get some nice little brown on there. See the color to it. And go ahead and set it aside. And start with the other. That grease strip off there. And this is all vegetable oil. This is next one in the bath. There we go. Okay, now that I've gotten the roast out of there and skim some of the oil off, go with some onions, okay? Same with some frozen onions. Good, scoop these around. I'm just going to kind of deglaze that pan with that. And just push these onions on down a little bit. Okay, now to these onions, I add about 3 tablespoons of butter. We're just going to move these around, stir it around, and let it brown these onions. Now to this initial dose of onions cooked down, I'm going to add some more onions, carrots, and celery. Okay? A little miracle there. So we're going to cook that down just a little bit. And this is going to be real good. See, it's picking up all that goodness off the bottom of the pot. Okay, so I've got all this stuff in here as far as the celery, onions, carrots. We're just trying to cook a good deal of this liquid out of it, you know. We just want to cook that out. So let's just keep stirring it around, keep it on a medium-high heat until we can get some of this liquid cooked out of the vegetables. Okay, now this is what we've been waiting for. See how you're just starting to see those little brown bits form on the bottom of the pan? That means the onions are starting to caramelize. So go ahead and just scrape them all up. But I've been stirring them, you know, off and on through this. You got to keep stirring them. And just get everything separated here. Now, go ahead and add some thyme. I got some fresh thyme from the garden. Smooth that in. Oh yeah, some nice aromatics there. You smell that there? Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Got some of this minced garlic. Okay. Maybe about a little heaping tablespoon, about a tablespoon and a half maybe. Go ahead and mix this in. I'll keep this stirring. Oh yeah. You can smell all that goodness. Okay. I want you to garlic mix in. You don't want to stop stirring it. I'm going to add you some. I've got some diced tomatoes now. Canned. Throw these on in. Okay. Let's see. I'm setting them out here something now. So go ahead and stir these diced tomatoes in. And let that go like that. And that was 1 can, 1 14-ounce can. You may want to go with another can. Got some over here on standby. I drained a lot of the juice out of that first can. That's good. Got that going. Alright. Just because I got it, got some fresh cilantro. I just hated to waste it. And we're just going to stir that in there. There's just to add a little bit of flavor. There we go. And we're just going to let this simmer for a few minutes. We'll keep stirring. Almost forgot too, I had a little bit of fresh oregano I picked too. Do that now. I just love getting all these fresh herbs into the pot. Now they're going to bring a lot of good flavor. Okay, so now we've been just simmering this for a few minutes here. Tomatoes and everything. Now I'm going to add another ingredient. A little Worcestershire sauce. Okay. There, and actually in this instance, it's thick Worcestershire. That's all I had on hand. I'm going to stir that in there. It's going to add some good flavor. Let that simmer about 5 minutes. Okay, now that that's simmered for a few minutes, I'll go ahead and I can get the bottle open, add some of this red wine. I don't know, about a cup and a half or so. Almost 2 cups. Stir that in. Now we're going to let this simmer a while. Oh yeah, and to that red wine, I want to add, I've got about a tablespoon of, basically it's better than bouillon. Basically like beef bouillon. You can use beef bouillon if you didn't have this. It's just a little bit better. Just to give it a little bit beefy flavor. A little bit darker. Go ahead and stir that in here, and we're going to turn this down to about medium low and let this simmer for about 20-30 minutes. Okay, so now I've been simmering this sauce here for 20 minutes. I tasted it, it tastes real good. And what we did this for is just to let the tomatoes and that wine and everything mingle and cook some of the alcohol out of the wine. Then we're about to add this to the roast. So here's how I'm going to do that. I got one of the roasts down here in the bottom of this crock, my crock pot. And I'm just going to spoon the sauce over it. Look at that. Oh yeah. Good stuff there. So, nice little coating on that. Now I'm going to get the second one. And find my tongs here. Put it there on top. Kind of to the side. Start spooning some of the sauce over it. Now I've had these these roasts here. I didn't just have them sitting out on the counter, you know, seared, because that would cause, you know, bacteria to grow and everything. I had them in the oven. I'll just keep warm for about 170 degrees, just to keep all bacteria and stuff at bay. We're going to spoon the rest of this liquid, this sauce, over the roast. And I'm going to put it on low in the crock pot. And we're going to see what it's like in the morning. It looks sure good and it smells good. Okay, so there it is, all crocked up and ready to go. I'll go ahead and put my crock pot on low and set it for a 10-hour setting. Hey, this morning, look at this pot roast. Oh my gosh, it's so tender. Look at that. Unbelievable. Just falling apart tender. I tasted this, probably one of the best roasts I've ever had. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set aside a little Pyrex over here. Let it drain, and then I'm going to let this juice cool. And we might make a gravy or something out of this. Look at how tender that is. I mean, it's just falling apart. Falling apart tender. So we'll set this aside here. I'll drain some of this juice off here and let it cool. Let it separate some of that fat come to the top. So we can separate that. Look at that. Wow. And let's see what else is going on here. Alright, that's good. We'll use that for the juice. Gravy. Let's see. Look at that, look at that. So baby. What you doing, baby? Hey baby. Look at it. Look at it. Alright, we'll come back to y'all in a minute. Alright y'all. I went ahead and let the roast cool while I was at work, and let the juice that was in there that I strained out with some of that tomato and everything sit here in the measuring cup and separate, and all that oil and fat just kind of congealed there on top. So what we're going to do, go hit this sink with some running hot water, and I'm going to scoop some of that fat off the top and get rid of it. So what you do is you just break around there, and a lot of them come off at once. This makes it a lot easier to separate the fat from that good juice. See, just separate that off there, throw that in the hot water in the sink. We'll get that fat off. Now I'm going to take the juice with the tomatoes and all that good stuff, and we'll pour it in my blender. Let's see. Put the top on it. Turn it on and give it a little bit of hit. Let's see. Couple of pulses. One more. Alright, that should be good. Now that I got the sauce ground up, what I want to do is got the roast back out. Wash your hands up real good. You want to take it, you want to pull any big hunks of fat off of it, and you want to kind of break it up in little pieces like this about, and just put them in a pot. Alright? Cold. So what I did is I broke up some of that roast in there, took the fat off of it, allows you to break it up and separate from the fat real easy. Then I took some, put in this Ziploc bag, because there's only a few of us eating here tonight. We can put this in the refrigerator, move it to the freezer, and save that. They had a good sale on roast. That's why I bought a bunch there and did 2 roasts at once. But we're going to save this piece. We'll go ahead and use what we got here. What we're going to do with this, I'm going to put a little bit of the gravy over. Okay? Just look at that. There's all those wonderful tomatoes in there. The rosemary, the thyme, and everything, and give it a nice little coating of the gravy. A little bit more there. There we go. And again, with the gravy, we're going to save some of that gravy too. Okay, now, so I set these in a pan over medium heat with the gravy. I add a little shot of red wine there, just to thin out a little bit. We're going to bring them to low simmer and let it go by 30 minutes or so. Meanwhile, cooking some polenta over there on the other burner, just according to package directions. Some nice polenta there. All I wanted to do is simmer this long enough to cook the grits or the polenta. This is what I'm going to serve it over. So, got the nice plate of that. Go ahead, scoop some of this roast beef up. You just serve it right over this griots, or these grits. I say griots because it kind of reminds me of some griots here. So there we go. We've got some beautiful roast beef and that wonderful sauce over those grits. Also want to complement that with top it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I think could do well with this. Let's go over that. We got some of those garlic grits there. Now it's going to be real good. Let's give it a taste here. Look at that dish. Wow. Grits, get some of that roast in there. Oh wow. That is some kind of fine. You gotta try this one. This was real good.